Science tips and tricks. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. First and foremost, lots of cities, high population. You get 1 science per 2 population, so having a lot of cities with a lot of high population is really beneficial. You don't have that increased cost of technologies that you had in previous games where they increased by 2% per city, so knock yourself out, have lots of cities. You won't notice the benefit early, but you'll notice it later. That brings me to my second tip, which is build the hanging gardens early. That gives you a 15% increase in city growth, and so of course the more population you have, the more science you have, and this ties in also to the video about effectively manage your housing. The more housing you have, the more population you can have. Third, choose a city, make it your science capital. That means if you have a city near the mountains, like this city here, where you can get a high adjacency bonus for your campus, select that city, turn that city into where you're going to focus on science production at. It doesn't have to be your capital, but you're going to want to make sure that it has as much housing as possible available to it. You're also going to want to make sure it has healthy growth, which means increased food. That means you have to put traders there and have the traders go to other cities inside your civilization for increased food. You do that. You want that to have a high population, high housing, as well as high adjacency bonuses. If you have the DLC that gives you governors, Pingala is going to be your best friend. He should always be assigned to your to that science capital city that has the high population and high science output. Reason being, his passive is that he increases your science production by 15% in the city. He also gives you an additional 1 science per turn for each citizen in the city. So instead of half a science per citizen, you're now earning 1.5 science per citizen. He also increases your great person generation by 100%. Fifth, Coupe and Korea are really good for science victories. They provide you great bonuses for staying ahead in technology and producing high numbers of technology or high values of technology per turn. Sixth, I recommend Classical Republic. You take a hit offensively, but you make up for it with a 15% increase in great person points, which is really strong early. For your second government, I recommend a Merchant Republic that gives you an increase in production towards districts by 15%, which is really great for getting campuses built. For your third government, I recommend Communism. It works really great for those science victories and maintaining your science production by increasing it across the board by 10%. My seventh tip is that the 5-year plan and rationalism are going to also be your best friends. If you have fast production for envoys, then adding the International Space Station and Raj are also great ones because they benefit those who do trade routes and city-states, suzerains of city-states. If you have more questions or want specific topics covered, let me know in the comments and I'll get to them.